There are 10 criteria that Sotheby's specialists consider when assigning prices to art, jewelry, wine, watches, and more. This is how we determine the value of art.
When we value a work of art, we have to understand the medium in which it was produced.
Medium is probably the first thing that we look at.
The medium is what the artist used to create the work.
The different processes by which one expresses oneself.
You see an increasing proliferation of artists using inventive and innovative media.
Medium is a changing factor. Different parts of the world use different media at different times. You can paint on canvas, you can paint on panel, you can paint on different metals, you can paint on stone, pretty much anything.
There tends to be a sort of unwritten hierarchy. Let's take, for example, a sculpture. The hierarchy would generally be a marble or a bronze. A marble would have to normally be something that is autographed, touched by the hand of the artist. A bronze typically is a cast of a model that was touched by the artist. A plaster has a lower value, however, because the plaster is the master model, it has a certain aura about it as well.
In terms of sculpture, those are the traditional media, and they are very much the great majority. In terms of painting and drawing, oil on canvas is at the top of the hierarchy.
Oil on canvas is one of the more durable media, so there's a practical aspect to medium. If you have an object that's made out of ephemeral materials that don't last, that of course can be a problem.
When you get to contemporary art, people are really reevaluating those modes by which to make art. The definition of what can be art has kind of exploded. So many of the real titans of modern art history were really experimental across all different platforms. Andy Warhol painted, he drew, he pioneered the silkscreen format, he created sculptures, film. When an artist is so experimental and so expansive, there's kind of something for everybody.
Within printmaking, the main techniques we see are lithography, screen printing, etching, and aquatint. Each printing technique creates a completely different effect, so it really depends on what the artist wants to achieve. Chagall, for example, uses lithography because it's fluid brushstrokes, whilst Freud uses etching. Depending on the artist, some techniques perform better at auction.
In photography, most prints are silver gelatins, but you also have platinum prints. And for example, Sebastião Salgado, he's very well known for selling silver gelatin prints, but he also does platinum prints, and the platinum ones sell for a lot more.
Certain artists, their ideas translate actually better in other media. So Jean-Michel Basquiat is someone who works just as well on paper as he does on canvas. And you'll see that in the prices paid for his work. If
you're looking to buy Odeon Redon, you're looking for a pastel over an oil. René Magritte, of course, the great Belgian surrealist artist, we've seen that prices for gouache works can at least match an oil painting's price, sometimes exceed it.
Oils on canvas represent the more traditional repositories of value. More than a work on paper, a sketch is sort of affiliated with a work on paper. You think of it as something that's preparatory for an oil painting. And for some artists that's true, but for a lot of artists that's not true. And Degas is a perfect example. His skill as a draftsman, particularly when it came to using pastel and charcoal on paper, is really what sets him apart. The way that he captured movement is expressed better on paper with pastel than it would have been with oil. And therefore, they tend to be more valuable. People recognize that his excellence lies there, and the top price for Degas is a work on paper.